Are you sick of dying, especially to mono red? Well, I am too. Hi, it's McFluffy52. Can you win by trying not to lose? That is the question we're going to answer today. This deck was designed based on trying not to die, but that doesn't mean it's completely devoid of win conditions. Notably, we previously played a mono-white artifact ramp deck with White Sun's Twilight, and that card proved to be a house against mono red and mono black. Just because you make a boatload of Phyrexian Mites, which can close out the game regardless of the opponent's HP, you gain a bunch of life, and then since you make a bunch of Mites, single target removal is incredibly bad into it. So what is this deck? Well, it's a mono white control deck. We're trying not to die, and White's removal is pretty good for that. We're playing Authority of the Consuls to slow down all of those aggressive decks, and it works really well with our 3-mana sweeper here split up, because it should mean the creatures that were on the battlefield probably swung in, so they'll be tapped, and the creatures that enter, they enter tapped. And so we can just cast this on destroy all tapped creatures. We're playing Ghost Vacuum, so those cheaty graveyard decks don't get to combo off on us. We have very efficient exile-based removal for those black unstoppable slashers that keep coming back from the graveyard. And then for the sort of slower control mirror decks, we have Realmbreaker, the Invasion Tree, which can ramp us, but also slowly chew through the opponent's library, so they will deck out before we do. We have Demo Field for the opposing creature lands, and then we have Crawling Barrens for the late game. We can pump a bunch of mana into this land and make a large elemental creature. Notably, you can also just hold up mana, and then if you want to pump mana into the Crawling Barrens, you don't even have to turn it into a creature. You can just put some counters on it throughout the game. So let's go ahead, hop onto the rank ladder, and see how we can do against all those aggressive decks and stuff like that. Also, don't forget to subscribe. My words aren't coming out right. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss out on future videos. We go first. We have Lay Down Arms, Get Lost, Mazemind Tome for card draw. So we have 2 removal spells and some card draw and a sweeper. Sunfall, great for just permanently exiling things. It's just a gross card. I don't know if I need to explain it too much. Okay, the opponent seems to be on some Esper Pixies list, which actually I think might be a bit of a rough one for us, but we'll find out. Okay, nope, it's probably Orzhov. Nope, okay, I don't know what it is. I do not know. I'll put down the Tome. I can help us scry to lands. I'll put down the Ghost Vacuum. Could have held the Ghost Vacuum if the opponent's playing like Hopeless Nightmare to try and just discard it. But if the opponent is playing blue, can exile the cards that they want to get back with their Storm Chaser's talent. What is going on? Opponent, yeah, you can't return a pixie to your hand. This is non-fairy. We'll go ahead and scry. Normally, I would recommend not activating your Mazemind Tome unless you can draw cards with it, but we're going to try and find that land drop. There we go. Normally, I would recommend not activating it until you can draw it, because this deck, you could argue, doesn't have enough card draw, and so making sure that you're actually getting into new cards seems important. But since the opponent's playing an aggressive deck, the sooner we can get through all the pages, the sooner we can gain the 4 life from when you use all the page counters. I'm gonna fail to take my own advice. Well, I said they were aggressive deck, so perfect. The opponent's creatures are all tapped. Go ahead and goodbye. And then we're just gonna sit. We played our land drop for turn, so we don't need to draw another card. Or immediately, we don't need to draw another card. Get lost for their manland is nice. The opponent seems to be stuck on mana here. Mazemind Tome brings me back to Rekner Bankbuster, which was like the first similar card that I played with, or similar to this that I played with. Rekner Bankbuster was an insane card though. I remember I put out a video talking about like what cards in standard might be like eligible for a ban, or like deserving of a ban. I mentioned Rekner Bankbuster, and I remember getting a comment or two saying, Rekner Bankbuster, how you could ban it. But the main reasoning was because it was in a large percentage share of the meta. It was like the most played card in the entire format. So, and then also, it turned every creature you played into a hasty 4/4. Okay, every is a stretch, but alright, I'll pause. I don't think our opponent wants to play Magic anymore, which is a little bit of a shame. Go ahead and use our exile effect. We'll get the flyer. Why not? Play our land, pass the turn. And I think they'll time out now. So I forgot to pause before they blew up. Alright, this hand's a little land rich. We have Authority of the Consuls, removal, and then a sweeper that hopefully we'll be able to get to, considering we have so many lands and we have Authority to Consuls to slow down the opponent's deck if they're aggressive. Dimir, oh gosh, it's Dimir Toxic. Okay, this is actually probably the worst matchup. That would be my guess, but we'll see, we'll see. Because they don't... Okay, it's actually Dimir. Like, fairies or some shit. Shumshing. Words are hard. Huh? Opponent? I'm so confused. I should have gotten rid of it just in case they have the spell stutter. Okay, well. Opponent might be holding up a counter spell or something. Ooh. Okay. We have to get rid of both of these because otherwise they could get Kaito. Or is that the wrong thought process? Maybe it is the wrong thought process. They're stuck on 3 lands. That's the hope. That's why I'm doing this, is if the opponent's stuck on 3 lands, I would have... Wait, what? Alright, we need to hit our land drop so we can attack him with the Crawling Barrens to deal with this Kaito. Play another Authority of the Consuls. Kaito didn't enter tapped because I guess it entered as a planeswalker and then became a creature. It's a little awkward, but opponent is just gonna maul us with Kaito. Oh, okay. This was my bad. I screwed up the first turn and then I tried to play a counter spell with a Mazemind Tome. Or not first turn, but I just gotten rid of the thing when I originally thought I should have. Alright, opponent has 2 mana open. They probably have removal, right? Do we activate the Crawling Barrens? And I also use both my Get Loss, which I should have just held for the Kaito. 2 mana open. They could have counterspell. This Kaito needs to go. I'm not letting I'm not letting myself mess this up. Maybe I should just stop playing around the counterspell though.
If you want a better world,
What was the counterspell? Make disappear? That card scarred me.
Let's surprise him.
Yeah, it was make disappear, that card. That card caused problems. Seven.
I've trained with the best.
All of their ninjas are gonna have +3/+3. This Kaito is just too strong. I'm afraid this Kaito is just too strong. I feel like almost every Kaito card
Trust me, I'm a specialist.
has been quite strong in like the grand scheme of things.
This place needs more
Let's
hospitality.
play the vacuum. We're not gonna Mazemind Tome until the opponent plays the bat. Like after the opponent plays the bat, because otherwise they can steal whatever card we draw with the Mazemind Tome. We gain 3. Very nice. We need to remember to ghost vacuum. They're gonna get rid of one of our sweepers. Can we make the comeback from maybe a series of pretty bad plays? I guess I should look up the Dimir deck list and see if it's playing counter spells. Let's go to constructed decks. Oh, we know they're playing counter spells. We just saw the spell stutter.
Follow me, Pom-Pom-chan.
They milled that with a, now they have the 2 mana for counterspell. Still something from their graveyard that we can eventually do something with. We do need to get rid of this Kaito eventually. It's not the emblem yet, but I mean, just run out of Sunfall into a counterspell. I feel like we kind of need to. Do we? Maybe we don't. I don't know, man. Okay, next turn we Sunfall, they counter it. The following turn, maybe we can set up a White Sun's Twilight. They just have so many planeswalkers. Like, even the Foundations Kaito is pretty good. Can draw discard for the +1 every single turn, gets loyalty whenever you connect, and can make creatures to defend itself. We're missing our land drops, which is kind of crazy with a hand that started with like... Didn't we start with like 4 lands, or was that the previous game? It was at 8 loyalty.
We got this, Pom-Pom-chan.
Ooh. I'm just gonna go for it. What? Okay. That's good, but they could have a creature that they flash in, and then they get the emblem off of Kaito. Can we work through an emblem? I mean, actually, we have 3 Authority of the Consuls. Every single ninja is just gonna give us 3 life. I don't know if embleming actually is the best for them, but I guess all the ninjas are freaking 5/3s. Okay, I don't know.
I'm a specialist.
I'm not so certain anymore.
Pom-Pom-chan. We've had you surrounded this whole
Losing to
time.
Kaito Tribal. Maybe I should try Kaito Tribal. I mean, it seems pretty good. 5/4. Whoops. Not 5/3. Counting is hard. Oh, my apologies, opponent. We got our Sunfall back, but the opponent could have gotten into that counter spell.
Just try to keep up.
Every single one's a 6/5. I hate it here. What the heck? Ay ay ay. Perhaps I should have just used the man land. Every spell gains us 3 life. Can we win the game? But they're playing Kaito. Every spell makes them
Estimate my
a 7/6. This is so bad. Do we have any get losts left in the deck? I think so. We're playing a full play set. Well, this is one of those matches where trying not to die. Well, I think we just blew all our planeswalker removal at the wrong time, unfortunately. Play Beza and wait. Maybe we can knock out their planeswalker here. We do need to get rid of this. Are we dying to the crackback? Kaito is a 3/4. He's getting +5, so he's like a 9 something. I don't care. I think this match is pretty cooked. They got both Kaito emblems. They have 6 Kaito emblems total. That's just
must keep
absurd. I shouldn't play this Mazemind Tome because it's going to make them a creature that will kill us, but... Okay, we have kind of a bad hand. If the opponent's going aggressive, we drew into our 2 3-mana removal spells. Beza can recover the game some. Maybe they're a graveyard combo deck and the Ghost Vacuum will carry us. That's what we're going to count on. One goes first, so... If they're black, Reanimator gets out of our hand so they can't duress it. Got split up, which is pretty good. Is this Dimir toxic? Oh, is this Dimir toxic? Okay, it's just mono black. That is fine with us. Get rid of that. Could wait until their turn, but just do that. Get rid of things from their graveyard just in case they're playing Deadly Cover-Up. Do we play Beza as a blocker here? Opponent missed their land drop. Funny enough, we got only the card draw effect from Beza, but that's fine. Nope, we'll get the life gain effect from this next Beza, perhaps. Lay down arms would be pretty good right about now. I can Ghost Vacuum my own Beza. Ghost Vacuum is like graveyard hate, but then also late game we can just get value out of making a bunch of 1/1 flyers versions of our cards. Do I play Beza? Okay, the reason we shouldn't play Beza is if the opponent has a Bloodletter of Aklazot. we just... Wait, no. We don't just die, because then they can't remove Beza at the same time. We'll play Beza. I want to draw cards. It's kind of stalls for a moment. We need to find the lay down arms or a Sunfall to deal with this slasher, though. Do they have the Bloodletter? No, they're just going to go for the Beza removal plan. Let's go exile the Beza again from our graveyard. They'll legend rule if we go to make 1/1 creatures of our creatures exiled, but it's fine. We're all tapped. Get down a Tome. Wait. Ah, respond. No, let me respond. We can get rid of it permanently. I forgot about this interaction. I was trying to scramble to full control, but it looks like it actually gives you a... like the game actually pauses to let you do that. Some things, the game doesn't wait for you. You have to go into full control to make game actions that would perhaps be optimal. I remember, I think it was Shieldred used to not upkeep stop, and then they added that into the game, since if you had a removal spell on your upkeep, you could kill it before you draw your card. Or these Consuls. I'd prefer to draw a card, to be honest. Alright, we can't play out the Mazemind Tome because then we can't make your move. Which we're gonna have to do, because otherwise we die. 6 damage is a lot. We need to start gaining life with our tomes. Slasher comes in tapped. Buys us a turn here. And I need to find some removal for it, hopefully. Okay, so if I activate the Mazemind Tome, we'll have enough lands remaining to cast whatever we find, or just... Okay, not enough lands to activate or cast that, which is a problem. Okay, well... We might be on the Crawling Barrens block plan, which is not my go-to way of not dying. This does 2 damage. We'll have 4 life remaining, and then they can, and then we half that, so we go down to 2 life if we let this through, which I think is fine. Mm-hmm. 2 life is not dead.
No more distractions. Let's make this quick.
We can Ghost Vacuum remove the... We don't need another tome. I think another creature with White Suns is better. Get rid of your Archfiend. My turn. Lay down arms is pretty cool, but we don't actually need to lay down arms because we can cast this for 7, gain 7 life, make 7 mites, and I'm gonna test if the game lets us actually do this without having to press full control. But it doesn't have counter spells, so this goes to the graveyard, and it does give us an opportunity to do this without actually using full control. Nice. Goodbye, Unstoppable Slasher. My turn to do the slashing. We have 9 life, but we can go up to 13. There's something we can remove with this lay down arms, but the opponent probably is going to take up Lilia, or Liliana. Lilia. I guess Lilia might be
Haven't you ever heard of personal
a way to
space?
abbreviate Liliana. I don't really know. Okay, that's a cool card. I would like to draw a card and gain 4. That's right, opponent. Our life total is moving in the wrong direction. Actually, do I hold this plains in my hand? Now we're gonna get really rid of Liliana, I think. We're gonna play this somewhat cautious. I guess if they have another in hand, it could be bad. Opponent, we still have our Ghost Vacuum open. Oh, this feels so good. This feels so good. Just absolutely wrecking our opponent. Alright, so we know that they don't have removal to deal with our mites, so we can swing 2 at Liliana and rest phase. Okay, opponent goes first. We do have the authority of the Consuls. We have Split Up to pair with it. Beza if we hit our 4th land drop, so as long as we don't die somehow, like we don't have anything to do on turn 2, but the rest of our hand seems pretty good. Oh, is this mono white tokens? That could actually be a bit of a bad matchup if we don't find our Realmbreaker. Nope, it's Boros. Boros toxic? We also drew into a 2-drop, which is very nice. Please don't be toxic. I hope it's just tokens. It's probably just Boros tokens, yeah. We can get rid of the Caretaker's talent, but we do need to be a little bit worried about these mites. But okay, so we hit removal for the Caretaker's talent. And the hive. I don't think we need to worry about holding Make Your Move for their Forge, Urbrask Forge. I think we can just go ahead and blow up the talent. I would love to draw a card here, but we're going to blow this up before they get a chance to level it up. Though I guess we could have waited until... I think the way it works is they pay the mana to level it up to level 2. And then only if it actually, like, doesn't disappear before that ability resolves, then you get the actual value. Okay, we stopped the talent, which I think is better than the Enduring Innocence. Can we find like a Sunfall or something? 4th land is nice. You get to draw a card here. If we don't deal with it, well, yeah. If we don't deal with the Hive or the Enduring Innocence, they're going to draw a card regardless. I think we just play Beza. And then we have some blockers. And then the following turn, we need to find like a Sunfall to deal with this Enduring Innocence. There's just so, like, these decks are just so loaded with enchantments, man. It's kind of obnoxious. I think we'll probably target the Hive over the Enduring Innocence. We don't really care about them drawing cards. We care about them never killing us. Because if they draw a bunch of cards and then they run out of cards in their library, that's absolutely fine with us. So that is not Sunfall, but that's still pretty chill. Love hitting my land drops. Alright. Our split ups aren't super useful since they seem to not want to do anything here. I'm just gonna give them the maps. They can have them. No more mites. I don't want to get... I do the toxic mites to my opponent. I don't want to receive it. Alright. No! Alright, we have 4 of them in the deck, so hopefully we'll find another, but we'll be fine. Interesting that the opponent hasn't, like, gone to swing in at all. Interland Sanctifier. It looks like the opponent is also tired of losing to mono red. So if I draw with this, what happens? I don't have enough mana to cast like a Sunfall afterwards. Oh yeah. All right. Split. I think we attack and then split up. That'll deal with a good portion of their forward. Though maybe this is just wrong because their forge will stick around, but destroy all untapped. This is our plan to win this matchup, or matchups like this. Has a lot of value. Lay down arms is pretty nice. We find removal for this forge. It is going to kill us. Ghost Vacuum is cool. Crack a map maybe. I can't complain about another tome. We're not dying yet, and this forge isn't too problematic yet. War Leader's Call, that is annoying. And another forge. Okay, well, that is gonna be problematic now. Them having 2 toughness is crazy. If I plan to sweep the board, it's probably best to just do that. We have split up. Authority the Consuls, back in you go. Alright. Not feeling so worried anymore. Or feeling a little relieved now. Can get rid of the Beza, I guess. Opponent probably has no graveyard recursion, so the vacuum's probably not very useful. Do we want to hold on to lay down arm? Nah, let's get rid of the Beza. Don't really care that our opponent's life total went up. Now we don't really care about the War Leader's Call either. Though we do hope the opponent doesn't have any removal for our Authority of the Consuls. Well, they definitely have more Authority of the Consuls things, but split up means we can deal with the tokens they create. Or like deal with their board, hopefully. Opponent's down to 42 cards in the library. We're 41, which is a little shocking that we're that deep, but is this what happens when you Mazemind Tome? Man, not hitting land drops is kind of annoying. Let's see if we can get some lands going. Don't want to die. This will draw us a card, not gain us life. But it will make some blockers. Let's do that. Ah, White Sun's huge, 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 huge. Now we don't have to worry about this Forge token. That's very, very annoying. We went through one of our artifact removal spells, and then of course they have hit 2 of their get lost This is rough. Orin War Leader? What the heck is happening? It's not looking good. I'll say that much. Everything's gonna get +1. Hold on to the fishes. Does a split up save us here? We need another authority of the consuls. Because they have 7 + 4 +2 +2. That's like a lot of damage. I think we just need authority of the consuls. That is not it. But now we're just dead to creatures on board because we didn't hit the authority of the consuls. Oh man, forge. Opponent's deck is just better. Man, I'm so bad at making decks, I hate it. GG. I don't know. Ugh. I'm starting to burn out on trying to make new decks, man. I just like, I feel like this deck should be pretty good, but the opponent's playing a fairly like meta version of Boros tokens, and it's just straight up better because you're playing Caretaker's Talent. Just play Caretaker's Talent, Beanstalk, any of those cards, and you just, even if your deck's a little bit more mediocre, it's still gonna be run better more often. And something that is not playing those cards, it feels like. Okay. Oh. Opponent on Selesnya Angels. Land drop, please. Thank you. We get rid of Giada. Is it better to play Lay Down Arms, get rid of Giada, or Authority of the Consuls? Authority of the Consuls means our split up we can cast next turn, hopefully, and just sweep the entire board. Yep. Big Angel, thanks to Giada. Exemplar of Light. Rose. Giada is not going to actually tap. Okay, well, he played out another Angel into the sweeper. And I think the opponent probably doesn't expect the split up. Still, there's land drops. They do not seem to be happening. If it's a land, okay. Ramp. It's something to stop their 4-mana angel that can allow them to replay angels, maybe? Maybe. I like the whole art of Youthful Valkyrie. Cool. Opponent held up 4 mana. Their 4 mana flash. No Giada from the graveyard. So notably, if we do get the Ghost Vacuum, we do get the Giada, like a value. Giada enters tapped. Invasion of Gavakan. Going to mess with our hand here, but still can cast our laydown arms pretty much regardless. They get rid of the Sunfall, which is interesting. I will go ahead and draw a card with Mazemind Tome. I guess I should have waited until their turn, but I feel like all of the moves for this turn were somewhat predetermined, so I can just Realmbreaker to start trying to ramp. Firing Overseer, tapped. Go ahead, mill the opponent for 3. Take a land from their graveyard. We whiff. Impressive. The opponent doesn't want to play. Alright, we get to go first. This hand seems alright. We don't have our land drops though. We have like 2 5-drops. Maybe there's an argument to mulligan then, but we are going first, so mulliganing to go down a card. I don't know, maybe I overvalue that, or like I'm too worried about that. One on Selesnya, they're Selesnya Cage, Selesnya Ramp. Okay, so they're probably on Selesnya Cage then, I would guess. Which is, if you're unfamiliar, there's a card from the big score, like bonus sheet from Outlaws of Thunder Junction that's like a 2 mana hideaway card that does some things. The opponent is a Hunter's Talent. Do I care? We'll wait until they put mana into it. We might just go ahead and use the Demolition Field, but maybe we should hold it for a manland. Opponent doesn't want to play. Fair enough. Okay, you go first. I will go ahead and keep. I have to say, climbing the ranked ladder this late into the month seems to be pretty difficult, because the past couple of decks I've played, I've had decent results with, but I haven't really seen my percent move that much. That one jank deck where we hunted for that turn 2 went from like 96% mythic to like 85%, and it's been a slow road up. Oh my. Okay, the opponent is on a pretty cool brew using Legion Extruder to sacrifice ETB artifacts to go ahead and make 3/3 golems. Which is cool and all, but I top decked a make your move, so I will destroy their 3/3 maker. Yeah, Authority of the Consuls, not bad. Good into Forge. If you can keep your Authority of the Consuls. One thing we learned. Ooh, Mardu Pixie. What? That's crazy. I mean, gotta get that value. You gotta get the value, as Brewer Kitchen would say. Alright. I want my lands. Ask and you shall receive. Alright. Opponent, we're not here to make friends. I'm afraid we're here to not die and potentially win games. So the Realmbreaker will be happening? Could have laid down the arms, the pixie, but I don't think we care about 2 damage here. Okay, bye-bye Mazemind Tome. I guess they can bounce their own temporary lockdown, so they don't really care about getting rid of their stuff. Yeah, it is a fun interaction. Give me land. That's not land. We can get lost the temporary lockdown. I don't think it's worth. So they just get so much value if we do. I think we're just on the opponent's 41 cards deep, we're 46 cards deep, and we're gonna tap the Realmbreaker. Pixie, they're gonna get back the bricks or the lockdown. Lockdown. Alright. Honestly, I don't mind. You can do whatever you want, opponent. Wait, the pixie doesn't enter tapped? Maybe it's because they enter at the same time, but I feel like if we gain the life, I mean, I'll draw the card. You're giving me free cards, sir. They're both untapped, so we can split up if we want. So I guess they're all underneath the they're all underneath the temporary lockdown. We could wait till their turn to do this, but it doesn't really matter that much. Okay. The temporary lockdown deck, I like it. It's gotta be jank though. I have a hard time believing whatever they're up to here generates enough value to be worth it. Yeah, Tithing Blade is not going to be particularly good into us. We don't play many creatures, if any creatures at all. Okay. I will proceed to mill you. Guess I can craft this with a creature. I don't know. I'm just gonna mill you. One's gonna try and kill us with Tithing Blade. Fabled Passage. Wait, we can just get back their Fabled Passage every single turn. Hilarious. Okay. They are starting to, whoops, I meant to activate the tome. That's my bad. It's okay. Opponent's halfway through their library. They're starting to decline the triggers. What is happening, opponent? It's okay, you don't have to do it. I'm just gonna draw a card. This is too much thought process. Because I have instants, I'm gonna constantly get asked to resolve things, which is a little annoying, but I mean, lay down arms doesn't seem very useful. Attack in and then use your temporary lockdown opponent, or craft with the Tithing Blade. Stays an artifact, which is interesting. I should have gotten rid of their Hopeless Nightmare. That's a bit my bad, but because now they're gonna get the Hopeless Nightmare back and force us to draw or like discard cards repeatedly. This goes to exile. I lied. We can't get it back on repeat. I forgot. It says changes it so if the lands do disappear, they get exiled. Give me some of that land base. Thank you, sir. Probably can get rid of like a split up or a Sunfall. Or maybe even Beza. This is gain a bit of life. No more hopeless nightmare loops. No, sir. I've had enough. Card has caused me enough anguish. I'm gonna just draw a card. We'll do that on their turn. Oh wait, never. Forgot they scroll shifted it, and so it comes back. I honestly don't know what's happening. There's too many triggers, and then they fizzle each other. Too confusing. All I know is at this rate, I don't think I'm gonna die, but the opponent is having fun. I'll give them that. I guess I could scribe for a temporary lockdown again. Opponent, you're forgetting a crucial part of winning the game, which is like attacking, I feel like. Was the plan just to ramp into a Valgavoth by blinking and stalling the game? $22 cards left. I guess I'll take a land. If for some reason they have a way to get back their hopeless nightmares, we'll start exiling them. I have 0 Praetors in the deck, but honestly I don't even think the Praetors part is very helpful. We'll go Fabled Passage. Does technically thin our deck, but opponent's on 18 cards. This is the very first game. This is very similar to the very first game I played against someone with this deck, as I played against a Caves deck, which had admittedly a lot of man lands. But thankfully we had a lot of ways of removing them, but they kept putting stuff to the battlefield and I kept removing it. I have like no urge to play Beza, because it's just gonna die to actually, let's basic check you. I don't know if it matters. Are you gonna tutor up a basic opponent? They do. It's wild. 17 cards in library. Excuse me. What is happening here? You got it, Chief. Temporary lockdown goes to hand. A million ETBs later. Opponent, our authority of the consuls are literally just keeping us from dying from just like these incidental life loss effects. Alright, the opponent is committed to going through as much of their library as possible, I guess. Something like that. I don't even feel like compelled for us to like try and fizzle this loop because I feel like it's just slowly gonna lose them the game. 13 cards left. We're not losing, so are we winning? That is the ultimate question here. Ouch. Opponent. I will draw my card. I will exile a card from your graveyard. One of my least favorite cards. Hopeless Nightmare. Get out of here. We went through a lot of their Hopeless Nightmares from just milling them. Is this deck just mono white mill? We just haven't found our White Sun's Twilights or like Planeswalker or anything, so we can't even really get a Planeswalker out because they'll make us sacrifice it with the invasion. Opponent down to 8 cards. We'll see if we can match you, opponent. We're only halfway through. Another Sunfall. Okay. We pass. The opponent blinking the Mazemind Tomes is honestly kind of helpful for us. So the opponent... Actually, no. I think I know what the opponent's trying to do. They're trying to put their entire deck underneath a temporary lockdown. That is actually their goal here. 5 cards left. 2 cards if you want to count the Realmbreaker. Well, actually, we win on their next turn. They got the Hopeless Nightmare. Huge. Drop a Sunfall. Are they gonna bounce it? Okay. I don't think they are. So we milled them 3, and then on our turn we milled them 3 more, and then that's game. Big land. GG. Alright, well, that is gonna do it for this deck. Can you win by just trying not to lose? I feel like the results were kind of inconclusive. We went 6-2 with the deck, so 75% win rate, but to be honest, we played... I think we were just terrorizing low mythic, which maybe is not a good representation of how this deck might perform for you. But let me know what you think of the deck below. And if you enjoyed this video, comment, like, subscribe, and perhaps you'll like the video that we did yesterday with Jeskai Chandra Control. It was revisiting one of my favorite decks from the previous year and trying to see if we can salvage what was lost in rotation. So if that sounds interesting, check it out on the screen about now, and have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Ciao.